Thank you. I'm Dr. Brian Ardis. You are going to probably want to film this or take notes. First off, I want to thank you for everyone who has either posted, reposted, snipped, put into TikTok, Instagram, it doesn't matter. There have been multiple of my interviews that have hit ranges of millions of views around the world, exposing the criminal protocols that are killing all Americans and those around the world. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, I want you to know how I know it's working. This next, 14, 13 minutes, I just want you to know, thanks to all of you, not to me, thanks to all of you for posting and reposting. The Associated Press reached out to me 2 days ago, and this whole speech is for them. I couldn't believe the email I got. They actually reached out to me and said, this is a fact checker been assigned by the Associated Press. They want to fact check one thing that is going around the world in social media and all over the internet. I couldn't believe what it said. They wanted to fact check that my statements that remdesivir causes acute kidney failure is accurate, and they wanted all my documentation. So I just want the Associated Press and that a journalist to know, 2 days ago, I have the screenshotted time stamp of my actual response to you, so you can't say I didn't respond. And then I put all the research studies and data, and I sent it to you. And I'm going to say this once. If you say I did not respond, then you reached out to me. If you don't publish the research studies and case studies from around the world the last 2 years confirming that remdesivir causes acute renal failure, since May 2020, I've been warning the whole world Anthony Fauci set up this deadly cocktail of treatment to murder Americans. I just want the Associated Press and the journalists to know who I sent all my documentation. If it doesn't show up in your article, my publications and my response, I hold you as complicit with murdering hundreds of thousands of Americans just like Anthony Fauci. I invite all of you to fact check this. Ready? Here we go. So here's the facts. This is what I sent. You're going to want to record this because if you want to confirm this, this is how you do it. I'm actually going to tell you what to type in to every search engine on the planet to get to these documents. Or if you go to thedrardisshow.com and put in your email, we'll just send it all to you for free. Just go. thedrardisshow.com. My goal is 100% to protect as many people as possible from dying and going to hospitals for something that early treatment at home can take care of 100% of the time. All right, so here we go. Number one, let's break it down chronologically. Number one, in December 2019, there was a study done published on the New England Journal of Medicine. Look it up, type in Ebola virus, remdesivir, Africa, 2018 to 2019, and it comes up. Look at table 2. Everybody got that? Fact check this, Associated Press. Look at table 2. There's 4 drugs put into this study for 1 year. I want the Associated Press to scroll up before you even start looking at this stuff. Look at the end of the research study. It actually tells you who funded the entire Ebola virus study. It's the National Institutes of Health, Singular Department, Allergies and Infectious Disease Department, headed by who? Anthony Fauci. He funded the whole thing. It gets published December 2019. 4.5 months later, May 1st, 2020, Anthony Fauci says, there is only one drug and one drug only that's been supported and found to be safe and efficacious against the Ebola virus last year in an experimental trial against Ebola. And because it was so safe and effective, we're going to now mandate this is the only drug of treatment through all hospitals in America for this entire year. Federal government, please buy up all the reserves of remdesivir. Don't share it with another country until the end of 2020. This is what happened. Go to table 2 of the Ebola study that I just referenced. Table 2 shows that the 4 drugs that were put in there, I quote, number 1, remdesivir. In August of 2019, midway through this trial, this independent safety board looked at the data. they found that remdesivir had a death rate of 54% of everybody they gave that to. Oh, and just before you fact check that, Associated Press, the number is actually 53.1%. So don't say I missed it by saying 54. All right, 53%, that's over half of everybody they gave the drug to. This is a 28-day treatment period. 54% of them died. It was the highest mortality rate of all 4 drugs. And it was pulled from the trial, and no other Africans were allowed to be treated with remdesivir because it was so deadly. The second drug is called ZMapp. It had a mortality rate of 49.1%. It only killed half of everybody they gave it to. ZMapp was actually put in the study by our own United States Department of Health and Human Services. They financed it and put it in there. The third drug, so just ZMapp and remdesivir were pulled at the same time by the safety board because it was proven to be more deadly than the other 2 drugs. The other 2 drugs that were allowed to continue in the trial, but on table 2 in that document, was MAB-114. It was put in by our favored DARPA department. They funded and put this singular monoclonal antibody in there. It had a mortality rate of 35%. Regeneron was the 4th drug. Anybody heard of that one? It's all over the news. It's the next miracle early treatment drug. It had a death rate of 33%. Look at table 2, Associated Press. I hope you print it. All right, so I just want to ask you, if you're not aware of this, Anthony Fauci puts out this mandate that we're only going to use remdesivir throughout the country. Only our country. And so hospitals around the country are using this experimental drug that our federal government bought out and only treated them with this. My question is, why did Anthony Fauci, who was overseeing a study for over a year, why did he select the one drug that killed more people in that trial than any of the other 3? If he would have picked any of the other 3, I wouldn't have been so upset. I would have just tried to figure out, why would you select it? He picked the one that killed the most people. The second study that he quoted is a cohort study done by Gilead itself 2 months earlier from May 1st in March. Gilead, the patent owner and the manufacturer of remdesivir, did their own study on 53 COVID-19 patients from Japan, America, and Canada. The results I couldn't believe. I clicked the hyperlink in the actual document from Anthony Fauci. It actually shows, and this is important, of the 53 people they gave the drug to, remember the Ebola trial study was giving them remdesivir and these other drugs for 28 days. This study, 3 months after the published study of the Ebola trial, Gilead says we're only going to give these COVID-19 patients this drug remdesivir for 10 days. And let's see what happens. 23% of all the people they gave the drug to experienced multiple organ failure, acute kidney failure, septic shock, and hypotension in less than 10 days. Another 8%, and this was published by Gilead, can you believe it? 8% of them had to be taken off the drug before day 10. They had to be stopped early because there was such severe multiple organ failure and kidney failure. The actual life of the individual was in the balance, so they had to take them off the drug. That's in March 2020. Fast forward 2 months later, May 1st, Anthony Fauci puts out a memo that this is the only drug to be treated around the country for COVID-19. And in the press, they were saying in the New York State press releases, all medical doctors, all hospital administrators were saying, we've never seen a respiratory virus do this. We've never seen a respiratory virus start attacking the kidneys, causing such severe acute kidney failure by day 3, 4, and 5 of treatment. We're short on ventilators, but we're not just short on that. We're short on dialysis machines. Fact check this all you want. When you shut down the kidneys, which is the primary job, is to remove water from your body. You kill the kidneys, proven in 3 to 5 days with remdesivir, and keep them on a saline bag, an IV bag, and you keep pumping water into them. The water goes into the abdomen, saturates the heart, and then floods into the lungs, and you drown the person to death. And then they require what's called a vent. Can you follow the murderous protocol? All right, great. Now I've only got like 4 minutes. Let's keep fact checking. All right, so in May, Anthony Fauci says this is the only drug we're going to use in America. Come September, 5 months later, there's 400,000 dead Americans from supposedly COVID-19. Where did they all die? in ICUs. What were they all being treated with? Remdesivir. For those of you who had a hard time, there's a lot of hosts that can't say remdesivir. I actually pronounce it, your death is near. Remdesivir. If that helps you remember. All right, so 5 months later, France is like, man, there's more dead people in the world of all countries in America. But let's do a little experiment with remdesivir. And we're going to give it to 5 COVID-19 patients in Paris. We're going to do it for 14 days. This is in September. Follow the chronological order, Associated Press. If you want to find the study, type in any search engine, France, remdesivir, the number 5 for the 5 patients they gave it to. Comes up, top link. Open it. They gave 5 patients remdesivir for 14 days. 4 of the 5 couldn't make it the whole 14 days because they had severe liver failure with liver enzyme activity called alanine aminotransferase, ALT, at levels 3 to 5 times what they tested them for before they gave them remdesivir. They were going into acute liver failure. 2 of the 5 had to be stopped on the drug early than 14 days because their kidneys died and they needed kidney transplants. 2 of the 5 died. Only 1 made it to the 14 days and survived. You think France chose remdesivir? No, they weren't going to use that. That's why France doesn't have as many deaths as America does. They didn't choose to use it. Fact check that. Acute kidney failure caused by remdesivir. My favorite, though, only got a couple minutes. My favorite. So that was September 2020. Now let's go to May 2020, just 5 months ago. Sorry. Edit that. Let's go down to 5 months ago, May 2021. Thank you. All right. So just 5 months ago, there is a statistical review of the database of all reported deaths and injuries around the world to the World Health Organization. And they do a database system review. And what they want to look for is what's called a reporting odds ratio. And they're comparing 4 drugs being used around the world. And they want to know if we type in remdesivir and acute renal failure, which means renal is kidneys, they wanted to see how many times does that show up reported to the World Health Organization from around the world. And they compared it to other countries using other drugs to treat COVID-19 this entire time. One of them's hydroxychloroquine, by the way. So they compare remdesivir to hydroxychloroquine being reported back to the World Health Organization. How much acute renal failure shows up? Type in any search engine, WHO, acute renal failure, remdesivir. The case study shows up. They found remdesivir causes and comes up with acute renal failure 20-fold over the 3 other drugs being used to treat COVID-19 patients around the world. How many people are dead right now in America, do you know? 704,000, I just looked at it, from COVID-19 treatment protocols. Why does America have the most dead people in the world when our country represents 4.5% of the entire world's population? Why, at the end of 2020, did we have 550,000 dead Americans and the rest of the world had 1.7 million? And they have 95% of the rest of the world's population. Why? We were the only country pumping all of our American citizens with remdesivir, which causes acute kidney failure, floods your lungs with water, and you drown to death. Your loved ones stay out of the hospital. I just need to let you know. Fact checkers, hydroxychloroquine creates, per the World Health Organization's database, 20 times less reported acute renal failure. I don't know if any of you think this is okay, but if you can't breathe, you're struggling, do you really think it's a good idea to shut down other organs in your body? Do you think that helps you heal? No. All right, so fact checkers, you got it all? This is great. Number 2, okay, I'm almost out of time. Are y'all enjoying this? You learn anything? Clay, can I have your forgiveness? Notice he slipped behind the banner. Okay. Here's the next thing everybody needs to look up. Everyone who's got a loved one who starts to get sick, has a Delta variant issue, starts to have a cold, flu, whatever it is, and they think that they're worried or stressed and they need to go to the hospital because they're worried they're going to die from the fear-mongering going on. I need you to know there's a document that exists that all of you need to go get. The NIH is the group that actually put out the mandated treatment protocols for all COVID-19 patients in America from May 1st, 2020. Every time a patient goes into a hospital and they hear my stories and they hear my interviews, they actually will say, you're not to treat me with remdesivir when I come in here. You can use hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin. And every doctor in the United States is saying, ivermectin's not approved. That's a flat-out lie. I'm going to show you where to find it on the NIH.gov's website. I'm going to actually quote you the title. And it doesn't even matter what search engine you go onto. It's not even censored yet by Google. It's amazing. All right, so go to your search engine, I don't care what it is, and type in NIH. Type table 2E period. And then these words, characteristics of antiviral agents approved or under evaluation for COVID-19 treatment. NIH, type it in the search engine. This is the fastest way to find it. I promise you it's buried on the site. It's very hard to find. NIH, table 2E period. Then type in these words, characteristics of antiviral agents approved or under evaluation for the treatment of COVID-19 on NIH.gov's website. The first link comes up. Click the link on that page. This is a table, a chart, by the way. When you click the link, this page comes up on NIH.gov's website. It's amazing this chart's not even on that page. You have to slide up the page, and in the middle of the page is this little table that says, click the button to see the table. Click the button, and this amazing chart shows up with the title I just gave you. The first drug on this list of approved and under evaluation drugs, all fact checkers, for COVID-19 treatment in America. First one is what? Remdesivir. No, remdesivir is number one. They give you all your doses and what you need to do. Number two on the list is ivermectin. Everyone in the United States needs to print that chart when you're taking your loved one to hospital. If you think that's where you need to go and you demand ivermectin and they go, that's not approved. It's just as approved as remdesivir by the NIH.gov, and hand them the chart and go, stop lying to me. All right, I'm well over my time. Clay's getting angry. Here we go. I have something very special for you that I need of you. I just mentioned that there are currently 704,000 murdered Americans that I've tried to protect since May 2020. And I'm getting wonderful emails every week of people literally pulling their IV of remdesivir out of their arms after watching my videos in ICU. And they're leaving and getting